Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be going over 6 mistakes beginners tend to make when starting out their calisthenic journey. I feel that these 6 mistakes are common to occur, and you might not even think twice about some of them. Take it from me, I've pulled off most of these mistakes more than once when starting out. And had I paid a bit more attention, I could have progressed effectively at a quicker rate and even prevented some injuries. So let's start with number 1, not warming up. Here's a classic scenario that I've seen multiple times. A beginner preparing for a workout by rotating their shoulders a few times, maybe a nice quick spinal twist, and they jump straight into a workout. Or just flat out avoid a warm-up altogether. Now, I've seen constant arguments between those who believe a warm-up before a workout is necessary and those who argue that warming up is not necessary. I'll constantly remain with the former. A solid warm-up can prepare you in multiple manners, both physically and mentally. Developing the habit of performing a solid warm-up that's structured towards your workout can go a long way for you in terms of better performance, preparedness, and reducing the chance of an injury. As a beginner, especially those who are younger, an impatient mindset tends to prevent a warm-up, or just not being aware of how to warm up properly. I have a full body warm-up routine that I'll leave linked in the description below that's specifically geared towards a full body calisthenics workout, involving the fundamental compound exercises. So if you'd like, you can check that out. The next mistake is also a classic, prioritizing quantity over quality. By the way, this is a beginner student of mine, aka Experiment 626. He'll be helping me demonstrate some of these common beginner mistakes. You may believe you have to hit X amount of reps, but in order to do so, you'll unknowingly find ways to make the repetitions easier by compromising form, performing half reps, or using momentum. A great example is with pull-ups. Performing full range of motion pull-ups are not easy because hitting the end ranges is where the active force that we can generate is at its lowest. Therefore, most beginners will perform half reps or even use momentum from their lower half just to get sloppy repetitions in while breaking their form and losing tension. Using a full range of motion will help your overall performance, strength, and size development. Paying attention to your form during each rep will help ensure you're properly gaining the benefits from each exercise while developing good technique habits. And using a controlled tempo rather than fast, uncontrolled, and sporadic repetitions will allow you to actually train the muscles at hand rather than just going through the motions. If using a full range of motion is too difficult, a good trick here is to reduce the intensity of each exercise and just work the negative portion. It's easier to train the negative phase of an exercise as we are stronger when actively lengthening our muscles compared to shortening them. So we can still gain strength with just negatives while using a full range of motion, paying more attention to form, and maintaining tension. Now on to the third mistake, which is unknown to most beginners, and that is skipping a preparation phase. This is a mistake in my opinion, but as stated, one that is not commonly known to most. A preparation phase is where you perform low intensity or easier variations of fundamental exercises that you'll be working with in the future. With this strategy, we can work both quality and quantity. This will allow you to accumulate more total reps with good form and less strain, allowing you to start strengthening surrounding connective tissues, develop a base level of strength, and most importantly, develop proper movement patterns. Think of it as neurological development. After a preparation phase, once we understand how to properly position ourselves and have improved the movement patterns for each fundamental exercise, we can then gradually increase the intensity without having to put as much focus into each movement, as proper technique will be thoroughly ingrained from the large accumulation of low intensity and quality repetitions during the prep phase. Just taking 2 to 3 weeks of your time to implement a prep phase can go so far in your training and help you avoid countless issues down the road. I have a beginner calisthenic full body workout routine on my channel, which is structured as a preparation phase, and overall will provide you a solid workout. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend that you check that out. On to mistake number 4, prioritizing skills over fundamentals. I wouldn't be surprised as a beginner if you went on YouTube one day and saw some incredible videos of calisthenic beasts performing planches, front levers, handstand push-ups, muscle-ups, and just immediately wanted to start training for those skills. I've been there in the past, and I remember the first thing that came to my mind when I saw these videos was, holy shit, I want to do that. And who wouldn't? That's what brings such excitement to this form of training, knowing that achieving these feats of bodyweight strength is possible. But this is where a classic mistake comes into play. Beginners see these skills, attempt the hardest variations of them over and over, assuming they'll just get it at some point, and overall end up straining themselves, lacking real progress. Now, I'm not saying that training beginner progressions for the skills you wish to achieve shouldn't be implemented into your training, because they definitely should, if that's your true goal. My point here is that excitement tends to outweigh patience, and patience is going to be your best friend in the long run. Trust me. This is where becoming strong with the fundamentals such as pull-ups, dips, push-ups, rows, and squats comes into play. As a beginner interested in calisthenics, developing strength with these exercises should be number one on your list of training priorities. You'll not only develop a balanced and solid base between your pushing and pulling counterparts, but as you grow stronger with these fundamentals, they will have a carryover in some manner towards the skills you wish to achieve. A prime example is the muscle up. If over time you've developed powerful full range of motion pull-ups and dips from constantly progressing with those fundamentals, then you're already more than halfway there. When it comes to our static skills, continuing to get stronger with the fundamentals will also have some carryover along with the positions that you've practiced. For example, at the top of a push-up, it's ideal to have your shoulders depressed and away from the ears with slight protraction of the shoulder blades at the top. During the planche, these same cues remain. Overall, prioritize the fundamentals at the beginning of your journey. You can add some early progressions and accessory work towards your skill goals as well. Just for the time being, it's well worth prioritizing your fundamentals. Now for mistake number 5, having the mentality of train as much as possible. Something that happens all too often is the eagerness of a beginner to train as much as they possibly can because they either believe that no days off is the only way to get strong and big, or that days off will negatively impact their progress. This is far from the truth. Consistent high volume training with no rest can actually lead to a decline in progress, plateauing, and potentially even produce an injury. I'll provide you an example from my own experience, because I've been in this exact position. For me, it was handstand training. Back in early 2018, I figured I had to spend at least an hour every single day training handstands in order to achieve them, and that if I took a day off, I'd lose the skill. Well, I did begin to achieve a mediocre handstand, but a few months of that and I paid the price by developing tendonitis in both of my forearms, which actually put me out of handstand training for almost half a year. Had I taken the time to realize and learn about overtraining, I could have avoided my injury. If I just had the patience to perform 5 to 10 minute sessions of handstand work during each week with maybe 1 or 2 days off, my progress would have improved significantly and I probably would have avoided those injuries. Proper rest protocols and avoiding excessive volume in your training is essential for safe progress to occur. Your body needs to repair itself from the stress caused due to training. My advice here is to pay attention to your frequency, volume, and intensity used during your training sessions so that you can see if you need to make any adjustments. This is where programming becomes extremely useful in your training. I'll make a video on this in the future. Now on to mistake number 6, and one that I truly want every beginner watching this video to overcome: comparing yourself to others. Now this is a tough one. It's hard not to compare yourself to others, especially as a beginner. As a beginner, it can sometimes be discouraging when you see these guys just busting out muscle ups like it's nothing, or performing the planche as if gravity doesn't even exist. And knowing that you're probably so far away from achieving these goals can sometimes get to you. I've been there and it sucks. But this is where a shift in mindset can really make a change. I want you to remember that this journey you're embarking on is all about you. Every second you put into becoming a better version of yourself matters, and the only person you should be comparing yourself to is you. Whether it was gaining a few reps on your incline push-ups or just figuring out the correct positioning you needed for a certain exercise. Any form of progress from the previous version of yourself is monumental, no matter how insignificant it may seem, because that means you are changing and you are growing through failure and success. And that's all that matters. Try not to stare at that goal that's miles away or that somebody else may already have. Put more of your focus on the obstacles that are directly in front of you and tackle them one by one. Once you've overcome them, take a look back and you'll realize that you've made a significant amount of progress. Also, most importantly, just enjoy every step of the way. Try your best to not focus so much on what's going on around you, but what's going on within you, because this entire thing is about you versus you. So enjoy everything that comes your way, whether it's failure, success, small progress, whatever it is. Put all of your focus into that, because one day you're going to look back and you're going to be grateful that you put in that time and effort and didn't focus so much on comparing yourself to those who are already doing what you will be doing in the future. Alright guys, that is the end of my video on 6 beginner mistakes you must avoid. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and click that subscribe button down below for more content in the future. If you have any other beginner mistakes in mind that I probably missed out on, please bring it up in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching guys, and as always, enjoy the process.